What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Today we have another Q&A video. Now the questions for today are going to come from the Facebook page, and like I said, I'm going to start rotating them. If you want to get in on these Q&As, you can either add my Facebook page or pay attention in the comment box below. Every now and again I'm going to switch between the two and post where you can post your questions at. That way you can get involved in these if you want to. So thank you to everybody that participated, and we are not going to sit here and talk any longer. We're going to get right down to the point. So if you guys are ready for me to answer some questions, then let's do it! First question is from Isaac Franco, and he asks, what is your quick go-to food for a large protein intake? It is pretty difficult for me to meet my protein goal for the day. Okay, so I kind of outlined this a little bit in a video that I posted a few days ago where I did my meal prep, and I talked about my two primary meals of the day, right? What I try to do when I prep in advance, I like to keep my breakfast flexible and my final meal of the day flexible. That way I can kind of throw in different stuff like protein waffles, protein pancakes, protein muffins, or oatmeal, whatever I want to do, right? But those two main meals I have are where the bulk of my protein comes from, my veggies and my complex carbs. So my advice to you, right? Prep your meals in advance and make sure those prep meals have the majority of your protein in them, because when you're out and about, right, you can stop at a gas station and pick up some carbs, easy. But picking up protein, not only difficult, but it's expensive too. So prep those meals with your protein, and then worst case scenario, you always have protein shakes and you have liquid egg whites, tuna. Those are all my go-to quick favorites. You can even do canned chicken breast if you want. So preparation always makes this entire process and lifestyle way easier. So try that out, I'm telling you, it'll make a world of difference prepping your protein in advance. Thanks, Isaac, for your question. Next question is from Dylan Johnson. What are your top 3 protein powders in your opinion? Okay, top 3 protein powders. Now, there's a couple different ways you can answer this, right? Because I have some that I love for the taste. I have some that I love for just how clean they are and the performance and the amino acid profile. And there's some that I just like as far as they're easier to cook with and things of that nature. So I would say, I'll just do a mixture of all 3, right? I would say for performance, my favorite protein is gonna be either Rule 1 Isolate or Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard. For cooking, you guys know I love the New Breed Myoblast, especially cinnamon French toast, but s'mores and strawberry cheesecake get a good second. And then if I had to pick a third, probably anything Select. Select has really great protein, it's really good to cook with, and it tastes really good too. PE Science Select. I need to try that new peanut butter flavor though. If you've had that one, comment below. I've been seeing it on Travis S's channel, 8 Sun, because it just came out, and he makes it look delicious. So if you guys have had that, comment below. Let me know if I should try it out, and I'll buy it, and then we'll do a taste test here on the channel. But those are my 3 favorite for sure. If you go with any of those, you can't go wrong. What I usually recommend is if you're buying a protein powder, don't go to like a Walmart or don't go to like a Target to buy your protein powder. Actually go to a supplement shop or a supplement online store. That way you're getting a good reputable brand. A lot of those cheaper ones aren't quite giving you what they advertise on the label. So thank you for your question. All right, next question is from Justin Simmons. He asks, who inspires you to push yourself? That is a hard question to answer, because I don't want to come across as being overly arrogant or overly confident or anything of that nature, but me and me alone inspires me to push myself. It's one of those things, if you rely on someone else as for your motivation, I was actually talking with a buddy of mine earlier today about this, talking about working out, right? And there's certain people that only want to go to the gym when they have a workout partner. They require someone else to motivate them. They require someone else to lift them up and get them in the mood to do certain things, right? But if you eliminate that other person, you eliminate every factor but yourself for pushing yourself and getting yourself motivated, then no one can ever let you down but you. And then the trick there is don't ever let yourself down. And there you go. You know, I wake up every morning and there's certain days I don't feel like doing things. There's certain days I might not feel like prepping food. There's certain days I might not feel like training, but I'm accountable to me. If I mess up, that's on me. It's no one else's fault, right? So as much as all of you guys inspire me and motivate me to keep going because you guys support me, emails and every bit you guys telling me that I helped you lose weight and stuff like that, like obviously that is huge motivation, but at the end of the day, I am accountable for me. And I believe really, if you want to be truly successful, you can't rely on anybody else to motivate you, to push you. You have to push yourself. Thank you so much for your question. From Trudy Bryant, she asks, what is the #1 thing that annoys you? You know what? Out of anything in this world, right? There's a million things that I think I used to choose let annoy me, like goofy little things, like maybe someone taking too long at a stoplight or people texting and driving and stuff like that used to annoy me. But what I found as I've gotten a little older, a little wiser, and a little more into this whole business thing, right, is that what annoys me more than anything else is when someone tells you they're going to do something and they don't do it. When someone is not a man or a woman of their word and they tell you something or they act a certain way and then they don't don't do any of that, that is the number one thing that annoys me. Especially when it's like, hey, I'll be there at 8, they don't show up till 9, or hey, if this happens, then we're gonna do this, and then they don't do it. Like, that's one thing if I can stress to any of you guys, especially if you're doing business, really with anything in life. If you wanna be taken seriously and you want people to respect you, if you say you are going to do something, do it. And if you don't achieve whatever that thing is, you best bust your butt to make sure you get as close as possible to making that end result a reality. So that's number one thing that annoys me when people are not consistent with their word and what they say. For sure, number one pet peeve. Thank you so much for your question. From Kevin McCarty, he asks, what do you think you'll do with your first $1 million? That is a tough question. Honestly, I have no idea. I really want like a fancy car just because I think they're cool to look at and cool to drive. But honestly, if I ever get to a point where I have $1 million, then honestly, probably that money wouldn't even really be something I'd purchase material possessions with as much as I would want maybe like a gym or to expand my business and just kind of keep everything going, right? I one of these days, I will own a gym for sure. And I think my first $1 million would go towards that, so. And you're invited, Kevin, I promise. Thanks for your question, man. From David Taylor, he asks, what should be the determining factor in changing your macros during a cut? Is it body fat, pounds per week lost, etc.? Thank you. There's a lot of factors to look at, man, when you are determining how to change your macros, right? So for instance, today I am 25 days into my diet and my macros have been the same from the start. 55 fat, 250 protein, 150 carb. And I have been steadily dropping about 2 pounds a week since I started getting leaner every day and making progress. At this point, there's no reason for me to adjust my macros because I'm still making progress. The ultimate goal is to be able to cut on as many calories and macros as possible because that means your metabolism is running as efficiently as possible. And then when you reverse diet out of it, you can ultimately keep raising those calories up. Then each time you cut, they're higher and higher. So in turn, you're always eating more and it doesn't feel like such a burden to diet. This has been the easiest cut I've ever been on. It's because 1, I haven't made any excuses. 2, I'm eating more food than I've ever eaten and I'm doing less cardio than I've ever done. And it's really made me rethink my entire process when it comes to myself and how I gear myself out for these cuts. I would recommend if you are making progress, right, don't go changing anything up. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see when people try to take the nutrition and the macro planning into their own hands is they want it all right now. And I've been guilty of this too, where you want to cut your calories so low because you want to try to reach this crazy physique by a certain time frame, maybe it's a vacation or something. When you do that, ultimately you damage your metabolism, and then let's say you crash diet and you lose the weight you want, you go on that vacation, you go to that special event or whatever you're trying to do. As soon as you eat bad, your metabolism is in such a bad state, almost everything you eat is going to be stored almost immediately as fat. That's why you see a lot of these guys come out of these physique shows, photo shoots, whatever you're doing, they take those few pictures or do whatever they got to do, then they start eating again, and then you're like, what happened to your abs? It's a week later, you're up 15, 20 pounds because you never really let your metabolism adjust and they crashed way too hard and then didn't reverse diet out of it and do it properly. So my recommendation, if you're making progress, don't change anything. That's the best advice I can give you. And then once your progress stalls and you notice you're only losing maybe half a pound a week, or you're losing no weight, or you're kind of stuck in a rut, and you got to give yourself time. You can't just go one day to the next and say I didn't lose any weight because water weight fluctuations and stuff. You got to give yourself a good solid week. Once that happens and once you see that, okay, we did not make any progress this week, then slowly start adjusting things, but don't ever rush into it. Thank you for your question. From Andrew Price, he asks, after the successful collaboration with Travis S., who would you like to do a collab video with next? Man, you know what? I am down for a collab video with just about anybody. I'm flexible. I'm cool with anybody. I think if I had to pick, I would love to do one with Max Tuning. I think that would just be amazing. He's hilarious. I think our personalities would mesh really well. We could do some really goofy, crazy stuff. Obviously, Christian Guzman's high up on the list because I just feel like that would be awesome, because he's a big inspiration. I would collab with Bradley Martin. I would collab with like really any of I respect all these guys to some extent, and I would collab with any of them. If that ever happens and that possibility ever arises, you best believe I'll hop on the first plane I can and head out and have some fun. So no collaborations are planned in the future. Eric the Electric, I want to collab with him as well, but no collabs are planned at this moment in time. But trust me, if I hear anything, I'll let you guys know, I promise. Thanks for your question, man. From Jared Wayland, where's Nate at? I don't think I've seen him in a vid since the holidays. I hope Team Dry Scoop ain't falling apart in order to keep up the video streak. Keep up the great content though. All right, for starters, Team Dry Scoop is in great shape. Nothing is happening with that. Me, Nate, Ankrum, everything is good there. What's going on is not only am I super busy, as business picks up, I'm getting incredibly busy. All of us are busy, really. Nate has got himself some kids, and he's got himself a relationship that he's very happy in right now, and he's in the process of changing a lot of things in his life and really trying to make his woman happy. So we actually have a video, funny you mentioned this, planned for early next week. We're gonna go visit a really cool gym that opened up here close by. We're gonna get a workout in. Yeah, Nate's still around, I promise. He's been in a couple of videos, you've just missed him, but he's still around. We're just trying to, life happens, things happen. You get busy and you don't always get to see your friends as much as you want to, and he no longer goes to the same gym I go to, so that makes it even more tough, but we're gonna make it happen, guys. Team Dry Scoop is good. Team Dry Scoop is good. I actually had dinner last night, so all is well, man. Thank you, Jared, for your question. From Chris Kugunathan, how did you come up with your slogan? I'm assuming you're talking about and don't forget to smile, remain positive. You know what, that slogan, actually, I don't want to say I didn't make it up, because obviously I had to have, but I didn't write that out and make that a thing. I was closing a video out one time, and it's right when I first started vlogging, so I had just got comfortable enough, because a lot of my videos at first were just like me sitting and talking, kind of like this format, and my videos might have been like a meal prep video, but I wasn't confident enough to do it myself, so I had to hire someone to hold the camera and stuff like that. I didn't have a vlog format, and then I bought my new vlog camera and I started vlogging, and at the end of one of them, I said, I don't know, it just came out randomly. I was trying to find a way to close it out, and I said, and don't forget, and I just said it once, and then ever since then it stuck. I don't know what came over me, what made that come out, but it's just naturally the word, what came out of my mouth, and then it's kind of stuck, and I think it's a good outro, if I must say so myself. So, thank you for your question, thank you. From Andrew Eaton, he asks, random question, what happened to the bump in the fridge? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and answer that one. Honestly, I have no idea. I know that one night I was pretty heavily intoxicated back when I drank. I talk about this a lot. I used to have alcohol problems, and I felt like I needed to drink, and I would drink until I blacked out, and woke up the next day and there was a dent in my fridge. So who knows, could have hit it with my head, who knows what could have happened, but that's one of the reasons I choose not to drink anymore, right? I let something like alcohol have such a strong grip on my life, and I felt like I needed it to be happy, and I felt like I needed it to socialize with people, and I think so many people fall victim to that, right? Well, no matter what substance it is, right? Alcohol was my undoing in that regard. Some people lean on narcotics, some people lean on other things, and it's not even just drugs, right? There's food involved. People lean on food for that comfort. People lean on all sorts of things. If I can give anybody any advice, right, if you don't want a dent in your fridge, is to understand that you don't need that stuff to socialize, and just because maybe everybody else around you is doing it doesn't mean that you have to do it. Now, if I go out, the only times I've drank twice in the past almost 2 years. Only times when I was in Miami on vacation, and those were very cool, controlled times, and I'm a better person now because of it. I don't feel like I need to go out every weekend. And my advice to you is, if you are gonna drink, save it for those special occasions, right? Save it for those times when maybe someone's getting married, maybe you have a special occasion in your life, you're getting married, Save it for that, and don't just turn it into your weekend way to escape, right? Because in the end, whatever you're trying to escape from with that substance, whatever that substance is, in the end, that doesn't do anything but cover it up with a blanket. And then once the next day rolls around and those effects wear off and you take that blanket off, the problems are still there. The insecurities are still there, right? And all you did was pour a little more gasoline on the fire, and eventually that kind of all culminates, and it's never good when it does, guys. Take that from me. I promise you, take that from me. So yeah, the dent in the fridge, that's that story. Thanks for your question. All right, we're doing one more question. Final question is from Sonia Gaines. Besides all the great info and motivation I get from watching your channel, I love the fact that you support and encourage others' dreams and goals, even when they are not fitness related. Why is that so important for you to do? I guess if I had to sum it up, right, when I started doing this whole YouTube thing, right, and I told people that I wanted to step outside of my comfort zone, I wanted to do the online coaching stuff, and I wanted to have a YouTube, and I wanted to have my own business, be my own boss, and all this stuff, no one helped me. No one even had the slightest little bit of interest in helping me out. And that's discouraging at first, right? And I think that's what deters a lot of people from going after their dreams and chasing what they want, is because you don't have any help. You're on your own in the beginning. And the only person that really helped me was my buddy Ankrum, because he let me film stuff at his store, and he kind of let me put Subzilla behind me a little bit. We were able to collaborate, and he had my back from the beginning, right? Other than that little bit of help I had, no one was there for me. If I can do anything to steer people into something that I believe in, and I know the people behind it, and I know they work hard, like if I can do anything to help them out a little bit, I feel like that's just putting good karma out there, right? I always talk about energy and putting your best foot forward, and I believe the more positive energy you put out there, the more you help people, the more that reciprocates throughout the world, it comes back to you. And I think that's one of the reasons why with everything I've done, I've been able to be somewhat successful at all of this, is because I try my hardest not to screw anybody over. I try my hardest to keep this smile on and promote nothing but positivity, and I try my hardest to help anybody out whenever I can. And I think those are all good traits to have. So many people get caught up in all this like YouTube fame and money and all this stuff, and they lose sight of why they started in the first place, you know? And if your original goal was to start all this to get rich, then you're in this whole thing for the wrong reasons, right? I think there's a way to make a dollar and a difference at the same time, but I don't think that the end goal should be cutting everybody else off, only worrying about yourself and not caring about what anybody else has going on. Because as soon as you start doing that, you get that reputation, and in this day and age, your reputation is everything. So you better protect it with your life. So I will continue to help people until I'm done with all this, because that's just who I am and who I've turned into. I think I spent a lot of my life growing up not helping people and only caring about myself, but I found that shifting that focus so much away from my own self-interests and helping other people achieve their stuff has been fulfilling for me, and it's given me a lot of satisfaction, and I don't know what the other word I'd be looking for is, but it's helped me be a better person overall. So awesome. That is all the questions for today, guys. Thank you to everybody that participated. I love doing these. And not only is it an easy video for me because I can sit here and just chat with you guys, but I love being able to answer your questions and connect with you guys on a different level. I think some of my meal prep videos, I can kind of, I'm just like showing you how to meal prep. And some of my like, here's how you make this food. You don't always get that inside look at like, who I really am, And some of you I know don't even care. Some of you guys just watch for the meal prep videos, which is fine. Some of you only watch for the workout stuff, which is fine. But for those of you that truly care about what I got going on, I think these help us connect on a more personal level. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. I appreciate you guys taking the time to leave your questions. If I didn't answer it this time, the next one will be on YouTube. So pay attention in the comment section, because I'll be posting, I'll pin it to the top on one of the next videos, and I'll ask for your questions, reply to that, and then you might get your question answered. So thank you as always for all your support, guys. I appreciate it so much. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you have any ideas for future videos, comment below, because I'm always on the lookout for those. With that, we are out of here. Thank you guys so much as always for your support, and stretch out for this one. Don't forget to smile, remain positive, and pay someone a compliment, because you never know whose day you could be making better. With that, I'm out of here. This has been a Remington James production, and I'll see you guys at the next video. See you guys.